8 bad celeb moms who learned their lesson and 8 who are still terrible moms. Being a celebrity is not easy, but being a celebrity mother is even harder. Everyone knows that motherhood is challenging and every mother makes mistakes. Obviously, it is easier to be a mother if you are not famous. No one will ever know about the challenges you faced and the mistakes you made. However, celebrities don't have the luxury of anonymity. We scrutinize their lives and we almost always know everything about them. We know when they get pregnant, when they have miscarriages, when they get into fights with their children and when they lose custody of their children. Regular mothers are often criticized for their parenting style and most are extremely annoyed with other people butting into their lives. So can you imagine how annoyed celebrities are when their parenting style is criticized all over the media? That being said, some celebrities deserve to be criticized for their role as a parent. Some celebs are so incredibly bad at being mothers and the world has no sympathy for them. Others are terrible mothers at the start but learn from their mistakes. 1. Still terrible, Madonna's son said she treated him like a trophy. Madonna is a terrible mother. She is clearly scared of growing old and will do anything to remain as youthful as possible. She is constantly seen wearing questionable clothes and she once kissed with Britney Spears and Christina Aguilera in front of her then 6-year-old daughter. Madonna has forced her son, Rocco, to go along with her on her world tour and humiliated him online by posting a picture of him dressed like a girl. She also did not allow him to watch TV and expected him to follow her crazy diet of no sweets, dairy, salt and many animal products. Last year Madonna's ex-husband won custody over Rocco and Rocco couldn't be happier seeing as according to him, Madonna treated him like a trophy. Madonna's daughter, Lourdes, said that Madonna can be too controlling. 2. Learned her lesson. Belinda Carlisle was never there for her son due to her career and addiction issues. The singer Belinda Carlisle was also hooked on drugs which stood in her way of being a good mother. Carlisle remembers the period when she was into drugs with horror. "I can't believe I'm not dead. I should actually look like the Phantom of the Opera with just 2 holes in the front of my face." As you can imagine, her drug addiction and her career meant that she spent very little time with her son James. However, she must have pulled herself together at some point because in 2012 her son wrote a piece for Huffington Post which he titled "My Wonderful Mom, Belinda Carlisle." In it, he thanked her for being a wonderful mother and for being understanding about his sexuality. 3. Still terrible, Brooke Mueller was seen hitting her children at a car wash. The actress Brooke Mueller is another celebrity who has suffered from drug abuse. Currently, she is getting help and is seeing her 2 children, Bob Sheen and Max Sheen, on rare occasions. There is no denying that Brooke Mueller has been a terrible mother. Remember that time last year when she went on the run with Charlie Sheen's kids? Before she ran away she walked into a nearby bar barefoot, with her 2 children in tow. She tried to get a cigarette off someone and got into a fight with her nanny who was with her. Someone eventually called the police but Mueller left the bar before they arrived. And let's not forget that time when Mueller was seen hitting her boys at a car wash. The witness called 911 and described Mueller in great detail. Mueller left before the police arrived. 4. Learned her lesson. Kerry Katona set a bad example by smoking. Do you remember the famous band Atomic Kitten? Kerry Katona was one of the band's singers and she was really into drugs. In fact, her smoking, drinking and drug-taking did not stop even when she had children. When Katona was pregnant, she continued to smoke. "I was smoking 20 a day before I was pregnant and I've cut down to 1. I honestly don't think a couple of puffs are going to do that much damage." However, Katona has really tried to be the best mother she could be and it seems like she has not failed. On her 16th birthday, Katona's daughter Molly thanked her for being the best mother ever. "Mom, the past 16 years you have sacrificed everything to be a mother. You always told me something changes when you become a mother and your whole life changes. So today on my 16th birthday I am also celebrating you. for being the best mother I could have asked for." 5. Still terrible, Kate Moss sets a bad example for her daughter. Kate Moss has one child, a daughter named Lila Grace Moss Hack. As you probably already know, Moss leads a wild life and loves drinking and partying. And having a child has never stopped her from any of that. Moss is definitely not a model parent, and she certainly does not set a good example for her daughter. Lila Grace Moss has said that her mum is embarrassing. That makes sense. Remember that time in 2015 when Moss was on an EasyJet flight and after the crew refused to serve her alcohol, she poured herself vodka from her carry-on luggage. Then she went on to call the pilot a basic *TCH and was escorted from the flight. 6. Learned her lesson. Courtney Love's daughter once filed a restraining order against her. As you can probably imagine, drugs and excessive drinking did not make Courtney Love a good mother. So it is no surprise that Love and her daughter, Frances Bean Courtney, have always had a very strained relationship. In fact, in 2009 Frances filed a restraining order against her mother after the two got into a physical fight. Frances' male nanny backed her up and the restraining order was granted. Frances has said that her mother has taken drugs for as long as I can remember. She basically exists now on Xanax, Adderall, Sonata and Abilify, sugar and cigarettes. However, with time the relationship between Love and Frances has improved. The source said that Courtney and Frances have had a strained relationship over the years, but after tons of fallouts they actually get on quite well now. 7. Still terrible, Kate Gosselin abuses her kids. Kate Gosselin has to be the world's worst mother. Sure, she has 8 kids, but even so, there's no need to be so nasty to them. But how is she mean to them? Well, there have been so many incidents that we don't even know where to begin. Let's start with the time when Gosselin was doing an interview with Access Hollywood. Her children started complaining about being thirsty, but Gosselin ignored them. Finally, she got up, got herself a bottle of water and chugged it down, without offering any of her children a sip. Gosselin is constantly accused of abusing her kids at home, and these accusations seem to be well-founded. For example, in an interview on the Today Show, her kids refused to answer questions about home life. In addition, the leaked journal entry described Gosselin spanking her son after he spilled a bag of beans. "I have never felt that I may seriously injure a child, but today was that day." 8. Learned her lesson. Jenny McCarthy embarrassed her son on radio. The actress and model Jenny McCarthy has a son named Evan who is autistic. She takes good care of Evan and uses her fame to raise awareness of autism. However, people began doubting whether McCarthy was a good mother after she said that she wants her son, who was 13 years old at the time, to lose his virginity with The Bachelor star Ashley Iacognati. Iacognati used to babysit Evan, and McCarthy further went on to say that her son is just waiting for Ashley to come back so he can stare at her boobs. However, she has not made any such insensitive jokes recently, which makes us believe that she has turned over a new leaf. This year she left her son the sweet birthday message on Instagram: "Happy birthday to my amazing son. I love you to the moon and back."